the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Coming up on the news at noon, a bear captured in Northeast DC. A look at the latest sighting and the handling of the young bear hanging out in a tree.
But I also know there's literally nothing I can do to help myself. Yeah.
I really don't know at this point around this area here. It's been like this way for so long.
And later, still a lot of unanswered questions about the deadly shooting on a busy street in Northwest DC. We'll have the latest in the investigation. And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for DC News Now at noon. I'm Mark Hall. An unusual morning in Northeast DC, to say the least. Police roped off blocks in the Brooklyn neighborhood as a black bear made his way around. The young bear eventually climbed up a tree in someone's backyard on Franklin Street, Northeast. And DC News Now's Lex Juarez was there and shows us how it brought the neighborhood together.
Well, it's definitely something unusual for you to see here in the middle of the city. A big black bear up in a tree after he had been walking around the neighborhood throughout the morning. It brought everyone out, neighbors, people from across the river in Virginia and also from Maryland, all wanting to see this bear, and he's sure to be the talk of the town for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, you don't expect this when you live in the city. It's a feel-good story in some ways. It's a little more fun than monitoring my computer all the time for the air quality, so at least I can, see what the bear is up to.
Something so strange, everyone had to come out and see it for themselves. Even with footage online of the black bear moseying around, neighbors almost didn't believe it.
My first thought was, can that even be real? But then I thought, nah, it's too real to be, that's too silly not to be real.
The bear was first spotted around 6:30 in the morning. After hours of watching him up in the tree, neighbors collectively decided to name him Franklin. Officials tell us Franklin the bear is at the age where the animal typically wanders.
This is normal behavior for a juvenile male bear, is to start exploring territory.
While responding agencies prepared to safely capture Franklin, the bear made his way down the tree. Within half an hour, he was tranquilized and loaded in Maryland DNR's truck, with neighbors cheering on the resolution.
I'm very proud of how everybody handled it today because the bear is safe and sound on its way someplace to be taken care of.
And a happy ending to an exciting morning here in Brooklyn. There is the bear, Franklin, taking his way with the Maryland Department of Natural Resources. They are going to be releasing him back into the wild. He will not be put in captivity. They say that he should be all right, released back with his friends and family in his natural habitat. In Washington, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
All right, Lex, thank you. And the bear is believed to be the same one spotted in Prince George's County yesterday. Stay with us. We'll have much more on that bear sighting that happened in Hyattsville at 12:15. Well, smoke from Canadian wildfires still lingering in the DMV. While you might notice a big difference from yesterday, the air is still unhealthy for certain groups of people. Yesterday, a deep smoky haze covered the district and the surrounding region. And if you were on the National Mall, it was easy to see as the conditions got worse. Depending on where you were standing at the mall, it was difficult to see certain monuments. Still, there were crowds and people out, and many weren't wearing masks. And that was the best defense against the smoke and protection for your lungs if you had to be outside yesterday. And the poor air quality did lead to some changes for events. The White House postponed their planned Pride celebration to tomorrow. The Nationals also postponed their game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. That will now be played on Thursday, June 22nd. And locally, trash collection was also changed. DPW slid Thursday and Friday trash collection by one day, so expect that to be picked up today and tomorrow. Well, taking a live look out at Roslyn, Virginia, a much different look than it was yesterday, and the air feels a little bit better, actually a lot better in some parts, and you can't really smell the smoke in the air. But when will it be out of our area for good? I know the man that has the answer. His name is Damon Matson. He's a meteorologist here at DC News Now. Damon, when can we expect this smoke to clear out?
Well, Mark, you said it yourself, and I even felt it this morning walking outside. It just felt cleaner when you took a breath in, because we do have that haze starting to let up as we go into the start of the weekend. Yes, the air quality is still not completely perfect here, folks, but the fact that we are not seeing any reds, pinks, purples on this map just goes to show that a lot of that haze, especially near the ground, has finally alleviated. So we are making some major improvements as we continue along through the day today and off into the weekend. We're not really noticing any major plumes anywhere nearby as well, so that is also going to be a good sign as we head throughout the rest of the day today. So we still do have an air quality alert in place, but it's been dropped back to a lower level, just a code yellow for the rest of the day today into the night tonight, and that means that those that typically deal with breathing issues like asthma, young children, elderly, those are the folks that are still going to feel some effect out there. But largely for the rest of the population, things have greatly improved, and you should not be noticing those same impacts that we felt over the last couple of days when that haze and smoke was just lingering over us. And another thing that's going to help us as we go into the afternoon and evening today, we're going to have some scattered showers and a few storms, and that rainfall is going to really begin to clear things out. So yes, you're going to have to dodge some rainfall the rest of the day, but we have desperately needed it, and it's going to continue to make a big impact as we go into the start of the weekend. So folks, things are greatly improving.
But Damon, in question again, you talked about rainfall, maybe some winds are going to pick up. Do you think maybe this smoke will be gone by Sunday?
Yeah, Mark, actually it's looking like not just with the rain today, but the wind direction is going to be changing, and that's going to kick even more of this out of here. Sunday, we should be totally clear and finally in a good spot with that air quality.
All right, Damon, that's some good news. Thank you so much. Well, the EPA has shared ways to help filter the air in your home, and they say that you can attach a furnace filter to a box fan using tape, brackets, or even a bungee cord. Just align the arrows on the filter with the direction of the airflow. They say do not leave it unattended or use it while sleeping. The EPA suggests that you stop using it once the air quality improves. Well, in a Metro-hosted roundtable discussion, the D.C. Council talked how to improve the bus service. One proposal would include operating 7 days a week every 30 minutes, and it would feature frequent direct routes and connect riders faster to places like schools and hospitals. The proposal would also connect current rail routes, transit hubs, and provide 24-hour service. It's designed to significantly improve Metro bus service for the first time in over 50 years.
Frankly, people don't care about the color of the bus, right? They want the bus that is going to show up and take them where they want to go. And so as a way to really put forth that set of recommendations that we jointly need to do.
If approved, it could attract about 30 to 45,000 riders daily across the DMV. The proposal is still under review. Well, D.C. Council member Brooke Pinto introducing legislation to better enforce penalties for Metro fare evasion. It requires fare evaders to provide their name and ID if stopped by law enforcement. If they refuse, they can be detained and fined up to $100. In Virginia, Loudoun County Sheriff's deputies say that a shooting forced some government employees into a lockdown yesterday. It happened yesterday near the Hillsborough Road and Charleston Pike. Hillsborough Mayor Roger Vance says that it's right by the town council building. Vance tells us that he's grateful the lockdown kept everyone safe.
You know, I think everybody's on a high alert, for this type of activity. It could happen anywhere. I think it was really an abundance of caution on the part of the Sheriff's Department and all the state police to do a thorough check.
The sheriff's office says that there were no injuries reported. Investigators are still looking for a suspect. In more developing news, a man is dead after shooting along a busy street in Northwest D.C. Police say the victim was an innocent bystander killed after a fight broke out in the Shaw neighborhood. Our Mayor Carbone was outside police headquarters with the details.
There's probably a shooting like every 3 weeks, just in this neighborhood.
And these evidence markers and bullet holes are proof of the latest.
It's normalized now.
Annabelle Sophia lives in Shaw and says Thursday's shooting, which happened near 7th and T Streets Northwest, is the same area she got caught in a shootout in before.
I was like riding my bike as they started shooting, so I could have been right in the middle of it, and I pedaled my bike as fast as I could to my house. When I got in my house, my heart was racing.
According to police, a fight broke out between at least 3 men inside this deli and market. It moved outside where someone started shooting. A man believed to be an innocent bystander was hit and killed.
Simple physical disputes or verbal disputes leading to gunfire is just unacceptable.
Commander James Bottler says a person of interest is in custody and a weapon was recovered.
We have way too many people on our streets in the District of Columbia carrying illegal firearms.
MPD data shows 56 firearms were recovered last week alone. In 2022, more than 3,000 guns were taken off D.C. streets.
It could be anybody, but I just walk with the God and pray that nothing happens.
Lowell Young, a lifelong Washingtonian, says he's fed up.
I be seeing what goes on around here, and nobody seems to care until somebody gets shot.
Reporting for DC News Now, I'm Marielle Carbone.
Well, new at noon, Maryland Governor Wes Moore says that he's moving forward with plans to strengthen the state's economy. Yesterday, he signed an executive order creating the Maryland Economic Council. He says that it will serve as a command center for the administration's recommendations on economic policy. The council will focus on investing in infrastructure, technology, and the local workforce. Well, we are more than a week away from observing Juneteenth. The holiday marks the 1865 proclamation of freedom for slaves. In Hagerstown, the Dolman Black Heritage Museum is unveiling an art exhibit this week. It looks back on the lifestyles of African Americans in the city from the pre-Civil War era to the 20th century. The history of the Underground Railroad in Hagerstown is featured, and so is the heritage of the Jonathan Street community. That's where black culture was centered from the 1870s.
The importance is the history of a time where we did come together to fight the wrong, the injustice in America.
And coming up on the